Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Judith Lamera delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region on today's headlines. Kammuri intensifies into a typhoon as it slows down while moving towards the Philippines. Singapore shows off two critically endangered eagles that are on loan from the Philippines as part of a breeding program to reverse the dwindling numbers of the feathered giants. Malacanang strongly urges the Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee or FESGOC to allow students watch the 30th Southeast Asian or SEA Games for free. Kammuri has intensified into a typhoon as it slows down while moving towards the Philippines. In its latest tropical cyclone advisory, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA said the northeast monsoon is also affecting northern and central Luzon. Kammuri is forecast to enter the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR between Saturday evening and Sunday morning and will be named Tisoy, the 20th Philippine tropical cyclone for 2019. PAG-ASA said tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 may be raised over the eastern portion of a Bicol region, eastern Visayas area on Sunday. Kammuri's outer rain bands may bring scattered rains and thunderstorms over the Bicol region and eastern Visayas on Monday. At 10 a.m. Friday, Kammuri is at 1,470 kilometers east of southern Luzon outside PAR, with maximum sustained winds at 140 kilometers per hour, gustiness of up to 170 kilometers per hour, and moving northwest slowly. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 may be raised over parts of Bicol region, eastern Visayas by Sunday. Disruption of maritime travel may be experienced in these areas. Outer rain bands may bring scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Bicol region and eastern Visayas by Monday. Meanwhile, the ASEAN Secretariat hosted an inaugural ASEAN Studies Dialogue today in an effort to map out a cooperation framework among ASEAN academics. The forum brought together academics and scholars from around the region. Lee Yung-yung, Director of Community Affairs of the ASEAN Secretariat, called for the scholars to engage with ASEAN Secretariat in its activities and gradually build up a regional database of ASEAN-focused resources. He further reiterated that ASEAN Vision 2025 provides the mandate for ASEAN to promote research and scholarly publications by ASEAN think tanks and academic institutions on regional and international developments. At the dialogue, participants discussed how academics can collaborate with ASEAN to undertake research on about regional affairs. The participants also discussed the possibility of establishing an ASEAN Studies Network. One participant, a Dr. Marisa Padaron from the Ateneo Manila University, highlighted she is very glad to attend the inaugural dialogue. It has been a very productive and fruitful discussion with colleagues from other countries as to how to synergize their research on ASEAN. She said that she is looking forward to seeing more joint student conferences, partnerships, and collaborations in research activities which can contribute to ASEAN community building. The one-day dialogue was supported by the German federal government through GIZ Cooperation Project. In other news, animal rights campaigners painted their bodies in bright colors to protest outside a Bangkok mall where the controversial Pata Zoo has been operating on its top floors for over 30 years and known for housing a buwanoy, the only gorilla in Thailand. Activists at People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, urged the owner to retire dozens of primates and other wild animals and move them to sanctuaries. Take a look.
Pata Zoo is one of the worst that we've encountered throughout Asia. Obviously, a department store is not a place for animals to be. So the gorilla has been here since 1983. There's also an orangutan here which has been here for a very long time, which is showing signs of zoochosis, which means psychological damage from being kept in captivity.
เรามีโครงการมีโครงการเพราะว่าพื้นที่เนี่ยมันมีจำกัดแล้วเราก็สามารถเพาะขยายพันธุ์สัตว์ได้เพิ่มจำนวนใช่ไหมโอกาสที่เราจะนำไปขยายเปิดสวนสัตว์ในภาคพื้นดินเนี่ยก็เป็นสิ่งที่เรามีโครงการอยู่นะแต่การที่จะทำอย่างนี้ยอมรับว่าธุรกิจสวนสัตว์เป็นธุรกิจเพื่อสังคมมันไม่ใช่ธุรกิจที่หวังผลกำไรเพราะอันนี้ก็ต้องคำนึงถึงเรื่องเงินทุนแล้วก็ความพร้อมหลายๆด้านด้วย
ที่อื่นส่วนใหญ่เขาจะเลี้ยงเป็นเลเมอร์หางแหวนกันเข้าใจเลยเดี๋ยวถ้าออกไป
Meanwhile, Singapore showed off two critically endangered eagles Wednesday that were loaned from the Philippines as part of a breeding program to reverse the dwindling numbers of the feathered giants. Destruction of tropical rainforest and relentless hunting have decimated the population of the Philippine eagle, one of the world's biggest and most powerful birds whose wingspan can reach 2 meters or 7 feet. With only around 800 believed left in the wild, the conservationists say the birds, Geothermica and Sambisig, are the first breeding pair ever to be sent outside the Philippines and arrived in Singapore in June on a 10-year loan from Manila. The creatures are being cared for at the city-state's main aviary and were shown to the media Wednesday as part of events marking 50 years of diplomatic relations between the countries.
It's been 6 months since Geothermica and Sambisic came to Singapore, and I believe they settled in happily and they are at home here now. We signed a landmark agreement in May for this pair of critically endangered eagles to be loaned to Singapore as part of a 10-year renewable conservation breeding plan.
The scheme has echoes of China's panda diplomacy, which sees the Asian giant send black and white bears to countries as gifts. A breeding program is also being carried out in the Philippines by a small band of conservationists at a sanctuary outside the southern city of Davao, close to the eagle's main forest habitat. A wild deer was found dead after swallowing 7 kilograms or 15 pounds of plastic bags and other trash in Thailand, an official said Tuesday, raising the alarm on waste littering the country's waters and forests. Officials said a 10-year-old deer was found dead in a national park in Nan Province, around 630 kilometers or 390 miles north of capital Bangkok. An autopsy discovered plastic bags in the stomach, which is one of the causes of his death. This according to the director of the protected region in the Kun Asatan National Park. The bags contained coffee grounds, instant noodle packaging, garbage bags, towels, and also underwear, according to photos provided by the national park. The Southeast Asian country is one of the world's largest consumers of plastic, with Thais using up to 3,000 single-use plastic bags each per year, whether for wrapping street food, takeaway coffee, or packing groceries. Marine animals like turtles and dugongs have died in its waste-choked waters, and autopsies have found that plastic in the stomach lining contributed to their deaths. Now, the scourge of plastic waste is affecting Thailand's animals on land. Several major retailers, including the operator of the ubiquitous 7-Eleven convenience stores, have pledged to stop handing out single-use plastic bags by January next year. More news when ASEAN in Focus returns. Stay tuned.
Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. Species that you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful.
In half the world's population comes as India battles slowing manufacturing and consumption. The pact would have increased India's access to other Asian markets, but New Delhi feared its domestic industries would be hit hard if the country was flooded with cheap and made-in-China goods, particularly in key employment sectors such as agriculture and textiles. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while representing India in Bangkok, had said that a review of India's FTA with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN will help balance trade between India and member nations. Meanwhile, 5 Mekong countries of Southeast Asia and South Korea on Wednesday agreed to deepen cooperation after holding their inaugural Mekong Republic of Korea or ROK Summit in the South Korean southern port city of Busan. The Mekong ROK Summit followed the 3rd Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN ROK commemorative summit that ran for 2 days through Tuesday in Busan to commemorate the 30th anniversary of dialogue relations between the ASEAN and South Korea. The 5 Mekong countries refer to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. In a joint statement released after the Mekong ROK Summit, the two sides agreed to deepen cooperation in 7 new areas: culture and tourism, human resources development, agriculture and rural development, infrastructure, information and communication technology, environment, and non-traditional security challenges. They agreed to enhance cooperation through collaborative projects such as preservation and restoration of cultural heritage towards sustainable and smart development of culture and tourism in the Mekong region. Cooperation for human resources development will be enhanced by promoting vocational education and training as well as education cooperation, including through capacity building in higher education and the improvement of e-learning resources. Malacanang on Thursday strongly urged the Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee or FESGOC to allow students watch the 30th Southeast Asian or SEA Games for free. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made the call to attract more crowds who will cheer for all Filipino athletes competing in this year's SEA Games. Panelo said it would also be a happy compromise to grant a 50% discount on tickets among students. If FESGOC could not heed calls for a free admission to SEA Games competitions that will be held in several areas in the country from November 30 to December 11. On Wednesday, sa mahang weightlifting ng Pilipinas, President Monico Puentevella asked President Rodrigo Duterte to allow the public to have an open access to all SEA Games sports events to maximize the country's home court advantage. Around 8,750 athletes from Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Singapore, and Vietnam will compete in 56 sports. The Philippines will field 1,085 athletes as part of its efforts to improve its sixth place in the 2017 SEA Games in Kuala Lumpur. Puentevella, former Philippine Olympic Committee chair and Philippine Sports Commissioner, said the multi-billion peso worth of funding earmarked for the country's hosting of the regional sports meet should be enough to subsidize the tickets of the games. Meanwhile, let's head on over to Civic, where our EBC correspondent Ben Bernaldez will give us an update on the SEA Games 2019. Ben?
Yes, Judith, to maintain the peace and order during the games of the 30th Southeast Asian Games, the Philippine Organizing Committee, the Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee, or FISGOC, has released a clear bag policy for the spectators who will be watching the game venues on the 30th Southeast Asian Games, especially during the opening ceremony at the Philippine Arena. According to the committee, each person is limited to only one plastic, vinyl or PVC bag, a transparent storage bag, which can be 1 gallon freezer bag or Ziploc bag or similar, or a small strapless clutch that do not exceed 4.5 inches or in height and 6.5 inch in width. Other kinds of bags such as backpacks, fanny packs, suitcases, purses, and duffel bags are strictly prohibited. Apart from the mentioned, there are also other lists that are prohibited in the items as already posted at in the website of the SEA Games. Venue security has the right to search all carried items and confiscate any prohibited item upon arrival. Earlier this morning, we went to the Philippine Arena as we want to check the preparation of the security forces. The PNP Region 3 has already deployed the policemen and also SWAT team, Bureau of Fire, even the Air Force has already been stationed at the Philippine Arena. Almost more than 300 security personnel has already been deployed. Also, there has been some announcement from Speaker Cayetano and also from the President in regards to the tickets of the spectators, and they have announced that they are going to, this is just a breaking news, FISGOC Chairman Alan Peter Cayetano says except for basketball, volleyball, and football will now be free to the public. So, except for basketball, volleyball, and football, all other sports, you can watch it for free. All right? And the President is also ordered to give out 10,000 free tickets for the closing ceremony, which will be held here at the New Clark City in Tarlac in December 11. And also here, we are here at the Civic Bay Convention Center, where 3 sports are being held, Muay Thai, Pencaksilat, and table tennis. The preparation for the venues has already been completed, and this will be ready on December 1st as the official games will resume. Judith?
Thank you very much, Ben Bernaldez, reporting live in Subic. Meanwhile, the beach volleyball pair of Cici Rondina and Bernadette Pons ushers the start of the Subic cluster action of the 30th Southeast Asian Games at the Subic Bay Tennis Court on Friday. In a report in the Business Mirror, four-time University Athletics Association of the Philippines beach volleyball champion Rondina Pons, together with DZ Gervasio and G. Rodriguez, bannered the flag against Timor-Leste at 9 a.m. 17 of the 56 sports will be held in Subic. The beach volleyball games mark the official opening of hostilities in the area since the action at the Metro Manila, Clark, and Southern Luzon clusters have already kicked off. Rondina and Pons hope to match the successful campaign of Filipino-Americans Heidi Ilustre and Dayan Pascua when the country hosted the games in 2005. Meanwhile, the Edmar Bonono Jude Garcia and Jaron Riquenton James Buitrago tandems will represent the country in the men's side. Subic will also host the windsurfing, canoe-kayak, traditional boat race, dragon boat race, duathlon, a triathlon, a modern pentathlon, beach and beach handball, Muay Thai, Bangkok Silat, table tennis, sailing, sepak takraw, aquatics or open water swimming, chess and rowing. As preparations for the SEA Games, New Clark City made a last-minute test run for the lighting of the cauldron. Let's take a look. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Camara, and I'm 1 with 25.